Oh, hi, good morning. I must say, this is Fred from Metal Ops, and you are going to introduce yourself. Who are you?
Morning, Jacob here from DEFEATED Sanity.
Okay, and you play bass, if I'm right,
That is correct. I play the bass.
in Defeated Sanity since 2005.
Five?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a long time. And so I was to prepare this interview in the her and the CET, the time in France, etc. For me, you are in Germany, but no, you live in America. The band.
This is right. Yes, I moved over to California about 2017, so about 7.5 years ago now.
Okay.
So it's early, not early, but it's still morning time here.
Yeah. So, but you have still your family in Germany?
Yes. Yes. My family is still in Germany.
Okay. And but at first, the band moved with Lille Gruber, the drummer and founding member. I'm right.
Yeah, he's still in Berlin. So
yeah. Okay. Don't say I'm not totally wrong. There is a guy still in Germany.
He's the main guy. He's the founder of the band, and he's holding it down over in Germany.
And his son in the past play with him, if I'm right.
His father.
His father. Yeah.
He and his father founded the band, and
in
when Lille was at a very young age. Yes.
So okay. So if we have to put a sticker, don't hit me, but if you have to put a sticker in your music to define Defeated Sanity, for those who don't know you, we never heard about you and never listened to your music, never show you live. Personally, I never saw you live, but I have to repair it, to fix it. But how could you define your music? Brutal death metal, technical brutal death metal, metal. Yeah, for you it's brutal death metal.
Yes. It's definitely brutal. It's also undeniably technical. So if you don't know us, but you know bands like Suffocation, that's a good starting point. That's kind of really Suffocation, Gorguts, Monstrosity, these old bands.
Yeah.
That's kind of what our sound was originally built on. But obviously we did develop it further into our own direction.
Yeah, you released with the new one, 7 studio albums. So
that is right.
And different singles and EP, etc. And but more an American wave for your roots. No German death metal or European death metal. In general.
No, you're right. It has always been more influenced by the American death metal, Cannibal Corpse, Suffocation, that kind of stuff. Morbid Angel to some extent. These older bands. Disgorge, the next wave of brutal death metal, like Disgorge,
Deicide, maybe.
Deicide, absolutely, yes, definitely. Deicide, Malevolent Creation, those old bands, they're all very influential to us. And there are some European bands too that were influencing us. Atrocity from Germany would be one to name.
Yeah, the early beginnings.
So there's definitely some European bands, but the sound has always been more of the American.
And you personally, you are still interested by what's happened in Europe, and you live in America, in California, or you are focused more in the American metal scene?
No, I mean it's one scene, right? Really, it's one when something happens in Europe, you pay just as much attention, of course. But as for Defeated Sanity, I feel like maybe partially because we did sign with an American label early on, that we had a little bit more attention and also a little bit more success over in America compared to Europe.
Yeah. You left Willow Tip Records with a very famous records in label. In death metal in general, and now you are signed on the Season of Mist, a French label.
Yeah, French label. Yeah.
Okay, Cocorico. Okay, let's go. So you personally, your musical background, I don't know because I have read something about that. sometimes we can say there are jazz influences in your music, but in an extreme level, with a distorted sound, with growls, with all in this, typically in metal. But you personally, how did you learn bass? And do you come from a school, a music school, and maybe specialized in jazz, or not at all? Berkeley,
Okay.
I don't know.
Yes. So the word jazz gets thrown around a lot, and there's definitely influence there.
Okay.
I have to say that for me personally, I grew up with classical music first and foremost. So my parents listened to a lot of classical music. I grew up from a very young age playing classical guitar at age 7. That's how I started, and did that for many years. And eventually, when I was in high school, and I kind of at that point I was a teenager, and I didn't really play the classical guitar anymore. I wanted to play punk rock and metal. That was like, you know, I was rebelling. So I stopped playing guitar, and I tried electric guitar, but because the picking was never really for me. I always was a classical player. So I tried the bass, and I was like, this feels natural. This feels like more like classical guitar. So and also there were, you know, the classic situation that I was trying to start a band, and everyone knows how to play a little bit of some chords, some guitar, but no one plays bass. No one knows how to play with fingers. So I was like, I'll do it. You know, I'm already halfway there from the classical guitar. So I picked up the bass when I was 14 years old, and just played bass since, and didn't really have any. I had a few bass lessons here and there, but I never went to school for bass. I just took my classical training and implemented it. And I watched guys like Cliff Burton, of course, and, you know, wanting to emulate what they're doing, you know, John Entwistle, Cliff Burton, these guys. And I actually never had a jazz education the way that, for example, Vaughn has more of a jazz education. Wolfgang, the father of Lille, was a jazz guy. Those were jazz guys. Lille grew up being taught by his father the jazz, but then he went on to conservatory, study classical, so he has both worlds, right?
Okay. And you, your parents personally,
my parents were more into classical. Very much into classical. No jazz in my household, unfortunately. It's very, very German household, classical, right? And my dad likes his classic rock too. So he likes Led Zeppelin and these bands, right? And of course he was much into like the folk stuff and like Crosby, Stills and Nash and Bob Dylan and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I grew up with that, but classical was more what I was interested in as a child. Jazz really I didn't really have much understanding of it until I met the DEFEATED, like Lille and Wolfgang, and they really introduced me to it.
Okay. Yeah, you play on bass 5 strings bass.
Yes,
and you play with your fingers, not pick.
Yes, no pick, no, all fingers, all fingers, except this one, but all other fingers.
Because okay. Alors, let's speak more about the new stuff. 7 studio act, maybe 7 deadly sin. I don't know. It's called Chronicles of Lunacy, and my first question is it a conceptual album? Because there are 8 tracks, but maybe they are connected, or there are stories.
Yes and no. So every album that we did has a concept. There's always a concept. I think I wouldn't go as far as calling it a concept album, though, the way that, for example, Dispose of the Dead Dharmata, that was a concept album. Now this one, there is an underlying concept, and that's just mental illnesses. So every song has a topic of a different mental condition, and that's why the title Chronicles of Lunacy, like lunatics, right? And So that's the concept there. But in between, other than that, the songs have no connection. They're their own songs, their own concepts. But the overarching theme is mental illness.
Okay. And the first track is very short, but very direct, very in your face. Amputations drunk. Drunk. It's a German word to say urge.
Yes. Like Amputationsdrang is the urge to amputate.
So welcome to Defeated Sanity new album. Wow, and very very straight. It's not easy for people who don't know Cannibal Corpse, we say, or more aggressive or more brutal. It's not easy. Very.
Yes. Well, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to just captivate the listener from the first note.
No introduction, symphonic or not that.
Yeah, straight to it. And the album generally just we wanted to be fast. We want this album to be fast. That doesn't mean there's no slow parts. There's plenty of slow parts, but the way the first impression is it hits you right with a brick to the face, like you said. And I love that you made that remark because it's really what we wanted to really capture with force and with speed.
You nail it. You get it. I think. And is it according to you the faster and maybe the more technical album you recorded?
It is very technical. In terms of when we compare it to the last album, I still think we took a step back in technicality to favor the speed and brutality more on this album. So the last album was maybe not as fast, but very, very intricate. Always many things going on at the same time. A little bit overwhelming maybe to some listeners. Some people obviously love it, which is great to have that diversity in our listener base. But with this new album, we kind of made it a point to maybe scale back the technicality just a little bit. It's still very technical, but just give a little bit more emphasis on the brutal and speed of the sound.
And personally, how many hours, how much time do you practice your instrument to rehearse and to be able to record it?
So right now I'm recovering from a hand injury. I've had surgery about 1 month ago, so I'm just starting back to play. I have not played for 5 weeks. Right. Yeah, so it's a good time right now because there's no tour happening until January and promotion. So I can rehabilitate. But if it wasn't for that, I mean, I play at least an hour a day. But when I was younger and I had time, I was when you're young, you have so much time. I played 5 hours a day. That was throughout my childhood and my youth. I couldn't get enough. I was playing before school. I was playing after school, and so on. And as you get older and you have more responsibilities, you have a wife, you have a dog, you have a job. You have to scale it back a little bit. But I try to at least do an hour a day still.
You have the passion and you are hungry to practice and to again and again. Okay, the sound of the new album is very raw, very very straight, very raw, very natural. You recorded with Colin Marston at Sound Caves in New York, if I'm right?
Yeah, that's correct.
The sound you wanted, this sound very simple, very organic, very no trigger, maybe on drums, I don't know.
Only kick drum trigger. Other than that, it's all organic. There's no sound replacing. There's no even though we record with a click track, it's all still loose. We don't move things to a grid or anything. We want it to be organic and human sounding. And Colin is the right guy for that because Colin understands the mission of making something sound organic, but still sound as good as it can be, obviously. So he's the man for that.
Okay. And you have a new guitarist, Vaughan Stoffé. I think I saw him live or interviewed him for Pyrexia, where he played.
He played with Pyrexia for a little bit, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so why did you choose this guy, this new guitarist? And there is only one guitar.
Only one guitar.
So I'm a bit surprised. You know, two guitarists live. How do you do? Is there both samples of new other lines?
No samples. Live, what we do is so when there's multiple harmonies on the album, oftentimes we change the bass. So I step in for the second guitar live.
Okay.
Depends. Sometimes I keep the bass line and he maybe makes an amalgamation of the two and merges together, or he sticks to guitar one and the bass steps into guitar two. We always make it work somehow, but there's no playback running along.
Some bands make it. Okay, so on Chronicles of Lunacy, everyone recorded his parts, but and Vaughan Stoffel made make all his guitar parts.
He played all the guitars. Yes, he played both guitars.
Okay. But you can play also guitars if it.
No. I cannot. Lille could. So I only ever play classical. So like I said, I can't really do the metal guitar, the pick guitar. Not for me. I can't do it. But Lille, on the other hand, he's got the education and the training, and he writes most of the stuff too.
Yeah.
So he can definitely play it, and he's on standby. That's he could jump in and play a part, record a part if he needs to, but we didn't need that. One played every guitar note on this album, so yeah.
Okay, well, because it's not it's the same kind of metal, but for example, Pantera, Dimebag was a god of guitar, but during the solo there was only bass of Rex, and sometimes it was like you like.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like there's a lack of second guitar.
I know. It can be an issue, and for Pantera, it's a matter of taste. I like it. I like to hear the bass, so that's why I like it, right? But for us, it works better, I think, than it works for Pantera, because we have that more jazzy component anyway, where it's not about the wall of sound so much than it is about hearing the individual instruments. So hearing the bass come through more because there's only one guitar actually benefits our sound, I think.
Okay. There are two singles video already available on internet online. The Order of Sanctity and the new one. It's more playthrough, if I'm right. Accelerating. I just saw once. Accelerating the rot. So
and then the lyric video too.
Excuse me. What?
There's a third one that's got a lyric video.
Okay. Cool. Of which song?
It's called temporal disintegration. Sorry.
Okay. So it was not difficult. It's a label which choose the singles because the Swiss
chose together. We talked about it. We knew that the Order of Sanctity would have to be the single. We wanted that because we had an idea for the music video and we wanted to do that. Now the other singles, we discussed what is best, and we ended up deciding, okay, the Order of Sanctity first, music video. It's a fast song. It's a catchy song.
Yeah.
Then bring Temporal Disintegration, which is more of a slow, mid-tempo, groovy song. And then for the third one, come back with Accelerating the Rot, so that you have like a fast one, a slow one, and a fast one again. That's kind of what we figured would be give people a good idea of what the album's going to be like.
And the label was agree. No problem.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're super cool. The guys are cool.
Okay. But in a kind like that, who was the last word? Who say this?
I mean, at the end of the day, we're a semi-democratic band. So I say semi-democratic because Lille is the founder and the leader. He knows. He always had the vision, and he has the final say in a way where if he has a reason and a cause, then we're not getting in his way. Like he gets his way. But we're also semi-democratic, as in we all we always consider everyone's opinion and everyone's idea, and then we sometimes even do a vote on it. So yeah, there are times where maybe like the three of us, like Josh, Vaughn, and I have one idea, and Lille has another idea, and Lille will say, "Okay, I'm not going to fight you guys. You know, there's three voices against mine, so I you guys win." But then other times where it's like 2 against 2, and then it's more difficult. But at the end of the day, yes, if there's one person when it comes to the musical decisions, to be the tiebreaker, that's definitely Lille. He's not necessarily the guy making like the decisions when it comes to business and stuff. That would be me, but for the most part. But when it comes to the music, he's the man.
Okay, I like very much the end of the album. There is a quiet moment as a lull on the the seventh track. Excuse me, condemned to vascular famine. And after heredity violated with mosh parts, the end of the album is there is a little quiet moment, and after a few words about that before to conclude. After.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know when people are going to watch this and if they're going to be able to hear the songs, but there's a little interlude section. It's actually an improvised little interlude by Vaughn on your guitar player. So he improvised a guitar transition. And then it goes into the final song, which is, we wanted the final song to be the most straightforward, most slamming, brutal song on the album. So mosh parts. So I think it's a good closer for the album. It kind of frees your mind a little bit because it's less thinking, more action.
Okay, so Vaughan Stoffé brings a lot of ideas of riffs, of structures, and new songs.
Yes,
Vaughan.
Yes, absolutely.
Guitar. Okay. Before to conclude, do you know any French metal band, death metal, for example, Gorod, who are signed and follow?
I know Gorod, of course. Yeah, and I've known Gorod for a long time. When they were still called Gorgasm in the beginning.
I'm gonna see them this weekend. I'm gonna see them.
Yes.
This weekend.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, they're a great band. Of course, I know a Dark Old Slaves. You know those guys? They're like a Dark Old Slaves. They're like more brutal bands, more underground French band.
Okay, I don't know.
Keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on them. They're maybe not as big yet as Gorod, but they're a good band. I mean, everyone knows Gojira, right?
Exocrine, since the Olympic Games, but before Exocrine, you know, for example, Exocrine. Exocrine, EXOCRINE.
No, I don't. I have to say I don't know them.
I think you could like.
Okay. Okay,
that's 50-50. You give me a name and I don't.
Yeah, there was an old French band named Massacre, I think, right?
But they don't make anything. But okay. Merciless, Road Blast, maybe. Aggressor.
Yes.
A new one is going to be released. Merciless, a new one this week.
Okay, right on. Okay.
With the interview of Max on YouTube and now these days. This
cool.
Week. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. You know. Okay. You have European roots attached contact. Okay. So, what do you want to add to conclude? And can we hope to see you live this winter or next week on summer festivals, for example?
Yes. Check out the new album. Definitely show us some love. Come out to the shows. We have 2 shows in France in January, February. So. It will be a sick package, and especially if you haven't seen us, come out. It's gonna be
a support band or headliner. You are going to play a support band or headliner.
We play headliner.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, January. Okay.
Maybe one day we'll play Hellfest headliner. We'll see.
Okay. Slayer is not sure for Slayer, so you have a place maybe.
See the we'll get the call someday.
Okay, I thank you very much, Jacob.
Thank you.
And keep an eye for your news and coming tour in France and Europe. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah.
Bye-bye.
Keep it sick.
Bye.
Bye.